everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Triple P, where we explore people, places, and palates.
In this episode, we are going to show you 10 things to eat, see and do in Valencia.
Let's start off the tour in the hipster neighborhood of Rusaffa, which, similar to Madrid's Malasaña or London's Soho, is a place where lifelong residents rub shoulders with artists, workers, creatives, and tourists. Check out the vintage stores, cafe bookshops, happening bars, stunning colorful architecture, and stop by Cafeteria DDL Boutique for some breakfast, where you will just be in awe of the variety of treats they have on display. If you're a sweet tooth, this is your paradise.
This is called a chocolate bomb.
By the way, fun fact, did you know that the neighborhood's name derives from Rusaffa, which means garden in Arabic? Turns out this area was in the 9th century a pleasure garden for the Umayyad dynasty. Now, if you're someone who prefers instead to have breakfast the more authentic local way, then head over to Orxateria Daniel, found in the Mercado de Colón, a place locals highly recommended where you will find Valencia's most famous drink, the Horchata. It is a sweet milk-type drink made from tiger nuts and should be accompanied by Fartons, which are baked sweets made with flour, milk, oil, eggs, and yeast, and then glazed in sugar. Just like the Spanish horchata, Fartons come from the Valencian region too, the perfect pairing that you gotta try. Now, while the Cologne market is definitely eye-catching, nothing beats the Central Market, a place of worship for lovers of gastronomy, with over 300 stalls to choose from. With more than 8,000 square meters, it is also Europe's largest market and is listed as one of the most beautiful in the world by BBC, especially as it is built in Art Nouveau style with its iron, glass, and ceramic decor. Take a stroll around and get a better feel for the local way of life, especially the food scene. Now, if you're someone who enjoys street art, then you should definitely check out the El Carmen district, where it can be found on nearly every block. Whether it's the famous David de Limon's black and white ninja figure, Barbie's stylized pink rabbit, which is now a trademark, or DEIH's sci-fi inspired superhero style characters, there is something for everyone. One thing about Valencia that absolutely blew me away was how green it was. It seems that 97% of the city's inhabitants live within 300 meters of green urban areas. It came as no surprise to find out that the city earned the European Green Capital 2024 award as well. Take a stroll in the lush and expansive Turia gardens, stretching over 9 kilometers long, or if you're looking for something more historic and intimate, then the 19th century Monforte neoclassical garden is a great option too, where you can find fountains, ponds, and pretty sculptures. Now, there is no way you can come to Valencia and miss out on the City of Arts and Sciences, as it is the most iconic attraction here. The stunning futuristic architectural complex, completely surrounded by landscaped gardens and water, is divided into 6 main buildings: a cinema IMAX, a museum of science, a vertical garden, an aquarium, an opera house, and an agora. Can you believe that annually it attracts more than 4 million visitors? For lunch, you have got to try paella, a dish served at every Spanish restaurant from London to Los Angeles. But this ancient rice dish originated in the fields and lagoons around Valencia. And if you speak to any local about paella here, they will inevitably mention La Pepica, which has not only become synonymous with paella, but an emblem of Valencia itself. La Pepica is one of the oldest restaurants in Valencia, situated on the Malvarrosa Beach. And for the last 126 years, it has been frequented by notable guests including Ernest Hemingway, Orson Welles, King Juan Carlos, and Queen Sofia of Spain. Not only was writer Ernest Hemingway a big fan of this place, but he even helped popularize paella around the world through his writings. One thing I really appreciated here was that they had many different varieties. The most authentic is of course the one with rabbit and chicken, but if you are vegetarian, they have a great veggie option too. Now, religious or not, you can't help but appreciate the architecture, serenity, and history of Valencia Cathedral, especially famous for the Holy Grail, as people claim it is the real one that Christ drank from at the Last Supper. Tickets are around €9 and you get a professional audio guide to go along with it. I headed up the bell tower of El Micalet for some stunning panoramic views of the city as well. But you should know in advance that you will need to climb 207 spiral stairs. So, don't forget to wear some comfy walking shoes. Now look, Valencia is famous for many things. Its warm climate, tasty paella, beaches, stunning buildings, but don't forget the sweet, juicy oranges. Across the world, oranges are exported from here and you'll see orange trees dotted around the city. So after all this exploring, grab yourself a refreshing glass of orange juice to energize yourself before heading to La Lonja de la Seda, the Silk Exchange. It was built between 1482 and 1492 under Master Mason Pere Comte. The work was completed by a pupil of his after his death, which explains the presence of Renaissance elements. It is considered one of Europe's most beautiful examples of Gothic civil architecture. Its similarity with old medieval castles is based on the fierce fortress-like appearance of its stone walls. It comprises 4 parts: the tower, the sea consulate room, the orange tree patio, and the room of columns. Last but not least, head to the Church of San Juan de la Cruz, built in the early 17th century, which from the outside looks quite plain, but the interior is absolutely breathtaking and is a great example of a Renaissance church, especially the large vaulted ceiling held up by spiral columns. It seems additional Rococo interior embellishments were added in the 18th century by Ippolito Rovira, who had studied in Italy and was influenced by the artwork there. He worked on several churches in Valencia, but his stucco work in this church is exceptionally well done. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to subscribe for more travel inspiration. See you on the next one.